All right, what's going on, guys? Graham, Giuseppe Matthews here with FanSided Daily DDT ahead of the WWE Draft Night 1 this Friday night on SmackDown on Fox. Today we're talking with one half of the former Raw, SmackDown, NXT Tag Team Champions, Angelo Dawkins. Angelo, what's going on, my man?
Oh, man, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, dude. Obviously, we got the draft in 48 hours from when we're speaking right now, but just 3 days ago, you were at Extreme Rules, you and Montez Ford. Great match for the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Of course, you guys didn't come out with the championships, but still, stealing the show. What were your thoughts on the match?
I thought, it was a good match. We went out there. I felt like I let my boy down. Friday, I had a prior engagement that I had to honor, and the Usos and the Bloodline took advantage of a nice little 3-1 advantage, and that ended up paying the price for us Sunday. And they took advantage of his injured ribs, which they injured on Friday. But other than that, I'm happy with the match. I'm pissed that we lost, but
yeah, well, stealing the show nonetheless, like you said. I mean, you guys make magic every single time you guys are in there with the Usos. So win, lose, or draw, it was a great match regardless. But, of course, looking ahead of the WWE Draft this coming Friday and next Monday on Raw USA Network, it's an interesting time, always unpredictable for WWE. You and Montez know the draft very well over the last couple of years, which we'll get into. Nervous, excitement, what are you feeling going to the draft on Friday, not knowing where you might end up?
I'll go more excited. We've been on Raw before. We've had success on Raw. We've obviously been on SmackDown. We've had success here. So, anywhere that we go, we're excited.
Yeah. All three brands, you guys have held the championships in all three brands over the last couple of years. And like you said, SmackDown being no exception.
Triple Crown?
What was that?
Triple Crown?
Yeah, exactly. One of only two teams ever to hold all three set of tag team titles within a year and a half of each other nonetheless either, which is pretty cool as well. You mentioned it before. Last Friday night on SmackDown, Montez had to fly solo. You had a prior engagement. He went up against Roman Reigns. Great showing there. After a match like that, Montez flying solo, you see that for 1 week. Obviously, you guys reunited 2 days later at Extreme Rules, but you see something like that, does that make you nervous? There is a chance that you guys could be split up in the draft. It's happened before. It could happen again. Or are you guys confident that you're going to remain a unit regardless of where you go?
Hey, we're confident. We're two confident individuals. No matter what happens, wherever we go, if we go as a tag, who we gonna dominate? If we go where we end up having to go solo, hey, Ted's gonna go do his thing and I'm gonna go do my thing. We still gonna be brothers in the end.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned before how you guys were on Raw before, jumping to SmackDown in last year's draft. Being on both brands for an ample amount of time, do you have a preference between the two? Some people say, that they bleed blue. They're SmackDown people. They enjoy Raw, but they're kind of more partial to SmackDown, or vice versa. In your last 2 years on the main roster, have you been partial to one show or the other a little bit?
No, I don't think, wherever we go, I got love for both brands, honestly. SmackDown and being on Fox and being on that platform and just being on the Friday is awesome. Just getting the weekend started, and then being on Monday just to be able to be everybody's start of the week to entertain and just to have fun. I got love for both brands. So wherever we go, we'll be good.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And especially, too, with the draft, like I mentioned, you guys have a history with the draft going back 2 years ago. Not even including last year, which we'll get to in a moment, but 2 years ago, WWE Draft was when you guys were officially called up to the Monday Night Raw roster. You guys were already kind of appearing on the show weekly, doing the backstage segments, but it wasn't until the draft that you guys officially got the call up to the Raw roster. So talk about that. What was that experience like for you, getting that? You talk about the draft and in other sports as well, football, and for you guys, it meant the official call up to the grand stage of being Monday Night Raw. So what was that like for you?
It was just a moment of just reflection at that point in time, but a bit of reflection and happiness. Reflection of all the hard work we put in at NXT and all the grinding we did at the Performance Center to make this opportunity even possible to be in the position to get drafted to Raw. And just happiness just all around, just to be able to all right, we finally did it. Now, the work don't stop here. We got to keep going. And just being able to prove the people that draft us right by letting them know they made a right decision in drafting the Street Profits.
Mm-hmm. And in going to Raw 2 years ago, I mean, like I said, you guys were already appearing on the show on a weekly basis. But by that point, did you have an idea that you guys were Raw bound? I mean, by that point in time, it looked like you guys were headed to Raw, but it wasn't 100% confirmed. Did you was that a foregone conclusion for you, or was it like much of a surprise as it was for the rest of us?
I feel like there's a chance we could have ended up on SmackDown, I believe, at that point in time. Mm-hmm. It was like we could have ended up anywhere. We could have still been at NXT at that point in time, too, just still making appearances on Raw. But I mean, at that point in time, it was like, okay, it made sense because we were on Raw all this time, and then finally we get drafted by Raw. It was only fitting that we get drafted by Raw since we've been on there for, I don't know, a month at that time? Month and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it felt like it was the right choice at that time. But we were expecting to either go to SmackDown or still be at NXT. So, like, it was a bit of a surprise as well.
So what about last year's draft? Compare that to last year's draft, because not only were you guys drafted to SmackDown, but at the time you were drafted, you guys were the Raw Tag Team Champions, which I don't think has ever happened before. So when you see your names pop up, how shocked are you to see that you're self-drafted to SmackDown along with Montez, considering the fact that you're one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions at that point?
We were really shocked at that point in time, but because at first, I remember when the New Day got drafted to Raw, I was like, ooh, we about to go up against a New Day on Raw. Okay, cool. And then they was like, oh, Street Profits to SmackDown. I was like, oh, all right, I guess we're going to SmackDown. Sweet. Cool, let's go. So, I mean, we had the title swap with the New Day. And, I mean, it made it funny because, Survivor Series, literally 3-4 weeks later, we ended up wrestling the New Day, the team that we swapped titles with.
Yeah.
So, in a way, we're kind of like Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions at that time.
Yeah. I mean, still, you guys never
lost the Raw Tag Team Champions.
Exactly. I was just about to say, you guys never actually lost the Raw Tag Team title. So if you do end up Raw in this upcoming draft and switch shows for the third straight year, that's obviously something you guys can go after. But, you talk about that. I forgot the timeline there, but you mentioned it. The Raw, the New Day went to Raw first, followed you guys going to SmackDown a couple of days later. But what's that atmosphere like backstage, not only for you, but kind of just for everyone, ready to see their name pop up in whatever show? What's that atmosphere backstage like at the WWE Draft shows from what you've experienced so far?
Oh, the atmosphere is chill, nice and calm. Everybody's ready for wherever they go, ready for the opportunity, and just chomping at the bit to be able to go out there and prove that their draft, the draft pick that said brand made was the right choice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To prove them right. Say, y'all made a right choice in drafting me, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm about to go out here and handle business.
Yeah, and you guys were definitely an example of that, being the SmackDown Tag Team Champions right from the get-go last year. And, I mean, obviously, wherever you go, you want to end up on the same show as Montez, of course, being drafted as a unit. Beyond Montez and probably Bianca as well, you guys just being one giant trio, beyond those guys, what about anyone else on the roster that you want to end up on the same show on? As far as, backstage friends or someone that you want to be able to see again that was on Raw that you can't see right now being on SmackDown, is there anyone specifically that you want to end up on the same show as coming out of this draft?
Gotta go with Viking Raiders.
Okay.
For one, Viking Prophet Brothers. Viking Raiders, I would be cool. Ricochet.
Okay.
We go way back as well. RK Bro.
Mm-hmm.
I just really want to be around for the interactions for Riddle and Randy, just because I just laugh every time Riddle talks and Randy's just looking at him like, bruh.
Yeah.
He don't even say it. He just does the whole hand motion, zip it, throw away the key.
It's great.
That would be a cool little backstage.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go with Big E. Go E. I mean, he was on SmackDown. Now he's on Raw because he's WWE champion now. But Big E and the New Day, and we had our little backstages with them. So, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it right there, but my next question for you, teams that you guys still want to get in the ring with, because in the last 2 years, you guys have mixed it up with quite a few teams. You mentioned the New Day last year at Survivor Series. If you end up on the same show coming out of this draft, you can run it back again. Whether it be the New Day again, the Viking Raiders running that back, you mentioned RK Bro, maybe, reunited Hurt Business, that could be among the choices as well. I mean, we kind of saw that on Raw this week.
Oh, yeah, Hurt Business.
Yeah.
Hurt Business is back. I'd love to get in there with Shelton and Cedric. That'll be fun.
Yeah, you guys just missed each other last year, right? Because didn't they kind of come around the time that you guys went to SmackDown?
Yep, sure did.
Nice.
They were wrestling the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Champions to see who was going to face us at Survivor Series. We were ready for either one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. And now that they're back, hopefully as of Monday's Raw, obviously that's yet to be confirmed. But from what it looked like on Monday, it looked like we got the Hurt Business back, which would be awesome to see you guys in the ring with them. And kind of going back to NXT for a second, we talked about being on NXT before arriving on Raw. You, Angelo, I mean, you were on NXT for such a long time before arriving on the Raw roster. You were part of one of the first episodes of NXT when it was still kind of what it turned into before 2.0. Seeing it evolve into what it is now with NXT 2.0, your thoughts on the evolution of NXT, watching from afar now, not being in that locker room, but seeing what it's, kind of turned into with the vibe and whatnot, and what you've kind of noticed on that front.
Oh, man, I love it. I love the fact that they're changing it, and because things have to evolve, and they're making new stars and evolving along with it as well, and then knowing how it was when NXT first made the transition from FCW to Orlando at the Performance Center, and seeing what it was at that time and seeing it continue to grow, keep the ball moving, continue to grow, and just produce more and more superstars. I think NXT 2.0 is taking it to a whole nother level with it. I mean, you got stars like Braun Breaker, MSK, Hit Row, Toxic Attraction, Tommaso being the veteran there, Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis, him being married now, which is probably one of the funniest things ever. But yeah, man, just watching those superstars just continue to evolve and improve and just make NXT 2.0 what it is right now, and it's looking really good.
Yeah, we don't know what the extent that NXT is going to have in this draft, whether they're going to be included or not. Officially, it doesn't look like they will be, but it's always possible. I mean, like you said, 2 years ago, you guys were drafted from NXT to Raw, so anything can happen. But let's say a tag team or a single star, whoever was to be drafted from NXT to whatever show you guys end up on. Who is someone that you want to get in the ring with from NXT in the immediate future, if it were to happen?
I'll go with the mix of MSK and Hit Row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 terrific teams. I think either match would be great. But kind of going back but what you mentioned earlier, I mean, you guys are among only 2 teams, I believe, ever, and I could be wrong on this, to hold Raw, SmackDown, NXT Tag Team title gold, like you said at the beginning, Angelo, Triple Crown champion. What's that going to be like for you? Not only accomplishing that goal, but you guys did it in such a short span of time, from like June of 2019 or whatever it was. I was at that show, TakeOver 25. It was such a great moment here in Connecticut, all the way to when you guys were kind of, awarded the SmackDown tag titles from the Raw tag team titles. What was it like accomplishing such a goal in the span of, 15 months or something like that, 15, 16 months?
Oh, wow. I didn't know. I knew it was pretty fast. I didn't know it was that fast. No, I mean, it's awesome to be able to have those accomplishments, to be able to accomplish something that probably a lot of people didn't expect. It was an awesome thing to accomplish. Me and Tez just both looked at each other and was like, yo, we really got something going here. I was like, yo, we Triple Crown. We won NXT, SmackDown, and Raw tag team champions. I mean, look, man, the sky's the limit. The sky's still the limit. We hungry to get our tag team titles back, but it's an honor to be one of the 2 teams mentioned in the Triple Crown family. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully there's more to come, but it's really awesome to be in that category. of accomplishments.
Yeah, and having conquered all of that, having accomplished all that, which is just awesome, especially in such a short span of time, being on the main roster in NXT and whatnot. You mentioned regaining the gold, again, regardless of what show you're on, whether it's the Bloodline on SmackDown or, whatever team is going to be holding the Raw Tag Team titles by the time that you guys get there, if it were to happen in this upcoming draft. Are there any other goals for you, either as a single star or as a tag team with Montez, that really stand out to you that you want to accomplish at some point down the road?
Just continue to stack up on gold. Mm-hmm. Continue to win championships, But you also got the goal of being just the best tag team in the whole world. Mm-hmm. We want to be number one. That's all we're focused on right now. We haven't really thought much of singles, but if we do, if it ever happens, we got aspirations of being on top. You know what I'm saying? Both of us.
You can be champions simultaneously.
Each other no matter what.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was going to say, you guys can be champions simultaneously on both brands if it comes to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the last couple of questions for you, man. Obviously, with the draft coming up and, having seen people been called up from NXT while you were with NXT, like in that first draft 5 years ago, Finn Balor going to the main roster, being selected by Raw in like the first round or whatever it was. Do you have any favorite draft memories that you weren't involved in? Also, favorite WWE draft memories from what you can recall, and any favorite sports draft memories as well, because I know you're a big sports guy.
Favorite sports draft memories, I definitely got to go with Eli Manning refusing to play for the Chargers when he got drafted and getting traded to the Giants. That's one. Also, I have to go with 2016 when we were at the Performance Center when Finn and all the other NXT guys got drafted. Mm-hmm. And that was just being there to support them, man. You know what I'm saying? See them go, because I've been around them for a while, and we trained together and stuff like that. So being able to see them achieve their dreams and achieve their goals and finally make it to getting drafted was awesome to see.
For sure,
so
man.
I'll go with those.
Yeah, no, it was such a great moment. Like you said, I remember the videos going up of all the people being drafted and your guys' reaction, which was cool. Completely random, but I know you said a couple of weeks ago, I think WWE.com was interviewing you guys about who you guys seeing going all the way in this upcoming NFL season, right now. You said the Bengals, and at this point, they're 2-1 in the season. So is that still your pick to go all the way to the Super Bowl?
Of course. Of course. Look, the only thing I'm upset about with the Bengals right now, that they let me down week 2, because then I had to hear Montez and Seth Rollins talk a bunch of crap about how good the Bears are, which now we see that ain't the case.
Oh, man.
But the Bengals, we right there. We right there. 2-1. Let's go.
Well, hopefully they can go all the way and win that Super Bowl gold like you and Montez, hopefully becoming tag team champions once again in the near future. But first, we got the draft on Friday, SmackDown, Fox, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Angelo, thanks so much for the time, man. I appreciate it, and best luck with everything going forward, dude.
Oh, thanks for having me.